It starts with a smile, not the kind that reaches your eyes, but the kind that says, "I'm fine." You learn early that silence keeps the peace, that showing pain only makes things heavier for everyone else, so you tuck it away, every ache, every tremor, every tear that no one has time for. And over time, hiding becomes your second skin. You become the strong one, the reliable one, the one who says, "Don't worry about me." And people believe you because you're so convincing. Even you start to believe it. But beneath the surface, something starts to rot. The unspoken pain doesn't disappear. It ferments. It leaks out through sleepless nights, overthinking, and sudden exhaustion you can't explain. And one day, you realize that pretending to be fine has become who you are. For many, it begins in childhood. Maybe you had a parent who was always stressed, angry, or fragile. You learned that your feelings were dangerous, that your sadness might break them. So you became their peacekeeper, their sunshine, their emotional glue. Psychologists call this emotional suppression. When your brain learns that expression equals risk, you silence yourself for safety. But survival skills have side effects. Your nervous system adapts. You become hyper-aware of other people's moods, scanning for the slightest shift in tone. You apologize too quickly. You anticipate disappointment before it happens. And slowly, your body forgets what relaxed even feels like. In adulthood, it wears prettier masks. You call it productivity, independence, or humility. You take care of everyone but yourself and call it love. You chase achievements that prove you're okay. You say yes when you mean no. You smile when you want to scream. People praise you for your composure. You handle everything so well. But inside, you're drowning quietly, because nobody checks on the one who always looks fine. You may feel guilty for resting, awkward when receiving kindness, uncomfortable when someone sees your cracks. Joy feels fleeting, compliments feel suspicious, and vulnerability feels like exposure. So you keep your armor polished, and that armor becomes your prison. Eventually the body rebels. You start getting headaches, stomach pain, anxiety that hits out of nowhere. Your brain whispers, "Something's wrong," but your mouth still says, "I'm just tired." You isolate to recharge but feel lonelier than ever, because you've built a life where honesty feels unsafe. The truth is, people who hide their pain too well aren't emotionless. They're overflowing, but the flood has nowhere to go. They've become experts at self-abandonment, and the tragedy is that the world rewards them for it. Healing begins when you stop performing strength and start practicing honesty. Not the big public kind, the small private kind. Whispering to yourself, "I'm not fine." Letting tears come without apology. Telling someone you trust, "I'm struggling," even if your voice shakes. You don't have to unpack decades of silence overnight. Start by naming what hurts. Name it so your nervous system stops treating it like danger. Name it so the child who learned to hide finally feels seen. Psychologist Carl Rogers once said, "The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change." Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means giving your pain permission to exist. Only then can it move through you instead of living in you. So if you're one of the ones who hides too well, remember this. You're not weak for breaking down. You're brave for finally being real. Your strength was never the mask. It's the courage to take it off. And maybe for the first time, let someone see you. Not the version that's coping, but the human underneath.